Greetings. Today, the moon continues in Aquarius. We have the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, now in Gemini for the first time since it was in Gemini 84 years ago, the last time it was in Gemini. So that brings a new tone to this Aquarius moon. And yesterday I talked about the moon joining with Pluto and power and empowerment and how to weather the storms. So today let's talk about that Uranus in Gemini and how that affects how the Aquarius moon feels, as well as later in the day, Saturn stationing retrograde and what that means for the upcoming Saturn-Neptune almost conjunction. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Saturday, July 12th. So we continue with this airy moon, this waning moon just after full. Still big, but now getting smaller each night. And we have that Aquarius energy of shakeup and change, of opening to new ideas, new thinking, new possibilities. And so the more we take care of ourselves and our need to clear space in our minds, to not think, to empty our minds, that can be itself rejuvenating for us, helping us to take care of ourselves and cultivate our inner strength. It can also, having that space out time or that clearing of the mind, that calm time, can also help us to open the door to new ways of seeing things. So when you're stuck in a problem and it feels stressful and you feel stuck, one of the things that the Aquarius energy does, or Uranus even, Uranus in Gemini is super duper curious. Anyway, one of the things it does is it allows us to shift into new possibilities. It allows us to have new thinking, new ideas. So it clearing the decks, clearing the space, clearing our minds helps us to have an empty mind, which is the right conditions for insight, inspiration. And insight can bring us new solutions to old problems because they help us think about it differently. And that is one of the powerful things about the Aquarius moon, which we have Friday, Saturday, and most of Sunday, most of Friday, all of Saturday, and most of Sunday. So, like an Aquarian moon weekend vibe. And then thinking about how we can get outside of old paradigms and old ways of thinking, clear space in our minds so we can see new ways of thinking, get new ideas, have those epiphanies that pop in where we go, oh, that's what I needed that I couldn't think about before, or I couldn't realize before, right? So the shower thoughts, right? The things that pop in when you're in the shower or you're driving or you're on a walk or somehow you're not needing to focus your mind on something, and that clears the space, and then the new idea can come in. So you're making space for the next new idea, right? By not dwelling or focusing or getting stuck on the old ideas, you're making space for the new ideas to arrive. You're making a parking space, right? A parking space for the new idea to come in. You're saying, here it is, here's the space. And then it can arrive, and then you go, oh, that was the new idea. So, especially with Uranus in Gemini. So, outer planet Uranus, the planet of earthquakes and lightning bolts and shakeup and surprises and unexpected developments, which Of course, unexpected developments aren't happening all the time, or they wouldn't be so unexpected, but it is how where Uranus is positioned gives us some information about how those unexpected developments might show up and what themes they have and what they are about. So, with Uranus in Gemini, which is a big shift because Uranus spends about 7 years in a sign. So, it's been in Taurus for the last 7 years ish. Now going into Gemini, it says the quality and the nature and the themes of the unexpected developments that show up in our lives will have more to do with Gemini energy. So Gemini is communications, thinking, ideas, mental processing, learning, curiosity, the mind, and things we read, things we write, ways we communicate with each other. So, unexpected developments related to communication and thinking and language and learning and information and ideas. Whereas we have had unexpected developments for the past 7 years in Taurus, which has to do with unexpected developments related to norms, normalcy, routine, day-to-day expectations, what we can depend on, things that feel comfortable, our comfort zone, all of that having the experience of disruption or unexpected developments showing up in that arena of life. So now unexpected developments will show up in the arena of communication and information. And one of the things that can happen with that is this capacity that we can awaken, that we can cultivate and nurture for ourselves, this capacity to awaken our minds, to shift in unexpected ways in our thinking, to have those new ideas pop in at an accelerated pace or in surprising ways or in surprising directions. So cultivate what it is you want insight and inspiration around. In other words, maybe if you experience worry or stress about something in your life, something in the world, perhaps, like there's nothing stressful happening in the world right now, but just in case there were, you might want to focus on how can I invite in new possibilities, new ideas? How can I see things differently? How can I get inspired about either how to shift something or think about it differently, get a new idea, communicate about it differently, learn about it, learn about things that I haven't learned about before? So there's this curiosity aspect that is getting activated by the earthquake and lightning bolt energy. So it's like our minds get that extra boost and our thinking gets that extra boost and extra infusion of new possibility, new ideas, and new thinking. So with today's Aquarius moon, think about what what you want some insight around, where you want to open that door to new possibility, new ideas, and new thinking, where you want to have something help you to see what direction to go in, maybe something that you could do to improve your situation or participate in your community or do something positive. So, waiting for those sparks of insight, those inspirations that will help you see what is coming, what you can do next. And then we've got Saturn now stationing retrograde. So later in the day, the exact point of the technical changing of directions of Saturn to go retrograde happens around 9 p.m. Pacific time, but it The station is something that happens for a long period of time, like a couple of days, where Saturn is slowing way, way, way down, hovering on a point, and then eventually starting to move the other direction. So the station is with us, bringing in that Saturnian energy of limitations, of structures, of systems, focusing on institutions, laws, government, who can control what and things like that. So emphasizing that, but also we've got now Saturn and Neptune, right? Getting closer and closer. In fact, July 13th to 20th is when they are the closest for this year. Next year, they will be exactly conjunct, but this year they get within a tiny fraction of a degree, and that's happening July 13th to 20th. So this retrograde of Saturn it's like Saturn stationing right after Neptune stationed, and they're so close to each other that both of their energies are highlighted and heightened and intensified. And so, some of the things I spoke about, especially in my video for the July 10th Capricorn full moon, I talked about the interaction of Saturn and Neptune and how they influence one another with dissolving and creating new structures, etc. So I won't go over that again, and this is already longer than I often do, but so I will end there. But the Saturn station again heightens the Saturn energy. It intensifies that Saturn Neptune combination of rules and structures with Neptunian dissolving and the need to let go, potentially some grief, some releasing, and connecting ultimately with a bigger spiritual principle, with a dream, with what it is your heart really wants, and how to create that from the nothingness of what has been dissolved. And so maybe this Uranus and Gemini energy can help us to get those ideas and those sparks of insight to contribute to how we create those dreams going forward. So we're in a process. We're in a story. We're telling the story. Keep telling your story. Keep finding ways to tell your story that are not just hopeful, but actually on the path of healing. All right. Thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com. Thank you so much to those of you who have joined my member program. The link is in the description for this video. For a mere $5 a month, you can get a free guided meditation that's complimentary for paid members, and some discounts and the ability to comment on my posts and some other perks. So thanks for being here and subscribing. I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.